everybody.
Okay.
My name is Kellie Gilbert. I am the Director of Service Delivery here at Bales. Myself and Niki Kimball, our HCM practice manager at Bales, will be giving you this lovely presentation. I'm going to go through the first couple of slides, hand it over to Tom, who's going to just tell you a little bit about Bales. And then Niki and I will take over the presentation from there. And as always, you have any questions, I don't mind interrupting me. Please do, because if not, you heard from Molly, I have no problem to continue talking. So what we're going to talk today is about the new HR talent payroll processing. Okay, I know there's been other things about how you do the setup, pay codes, things like that, or the data transformation from S3 up to over to HR talent. Here, we're just going to talk a little bit about the processing. So here is our company overview that I'll hand it off to Tom.
All right. Thanks, Kelly. And I will spend a lot of time because Kelly she's jazzed for this presentation for sure. For those of you who are not familiar with Bales, basically we were founded by Jamie Bales back in 1995 and have been a part of the Infor Lawson partner community since 1997. Basically, we are a full service Infor consulting firm. We only do Infor implementation and Infor consulting, human capital management, finance and supply chain. In addition to Cloud Suite implementation work, we do provide managed services, assessments, training, staff augmentation. So as I mentioned, we can help you in a lot of different areas when it comes to your Infor Lawson ERP implementation and installation. With that said, we've got very deep roots into the Lawson and Infor implementation space due to our tight partnership with Infor. As a matter of fact, we were even part of the development of Infor Cloud Suite and delivered the initial Cloud Suite training to Infor and all of its partners. So we've got a very good relationship with Infor, work very closely with them, not only on a technology side of the house, but also in sales and marketing. As you'll learn today, Kelly and Niki, they're one of our two experienced consultants and directors on staff here at Bales, and their knowledge and skill sets are indicative of the type of people we have here at Bales. The average tenure of a consultant is over 15 years. So we've got the best and the brightest, as they say, when it comes to Infor consulting. About a year and a half ago, we were acquired by Nordic Consulting, which makes us now a subsidiary of Nordic. Nordic is headquartered in Madison, Wisconsin. Their roots are on the clinical side of the house in healthcare. Specialties include EHR, EMR implementation and staffing and consulting for EMR systems like Epic, Meditech, Cerner, and the like. One of the things about our being a part of Nordic and puts us in a very unique position compared to some of the other partners is that we now can combine not only ERP expertise, but now EMR and EHR expertise. We've got the bandwidth and the knowledge to do a lot of integration work between your Infor ERP system and whatever EMR system you might have for the healthcare clients out there, whether it be Epic, Meditech, Cerner, all the big name players. Also, being able to do interoperability consulting and development work through the Cloud Suite, the Cloverleaf product and Clinical Bridge and so forth. So combining the two organizations and the experience skill sets, we're, like I said, in a very unique position in the marketplace these days. Just a quick note, today's session, as you know, is being recorded. Molly's going to send it out to all the registrants. If you're not registered and would like to receive the link for the recording, just email Molly Velasco. You'll see her email at the end of the presentation. So with that being said, I'll turn things back over to Kelly and let's have a great presentation.
Thank you so much, Tom. Greatly appreciated. Introductions. Okay, again, I'm Kellie Gilbert. I'm Director of Service Delivery. I oversee our HCM practice, our project management office, and our managed services. I have been working with the Infor products prior to Infor. I started in 1994, so I have been, I came up through the different iterations of the product. I did start when I was 7, just so you know, so you can do the math there. But then also at the helm of our HCM practice is Niki Kimball. Niki?
Hey, yeah, I'm Niki Kimball, HCM practice manager, as you can see, and I've been working with the product since '99. So Kellie's got a few years on me. I was 11, I guess, when I started. Um,
Sorry.
but but yeah, we're excited to show you this new product. We've been working with it for a few years. Even Kellie's not even bragging for herself. She was one of the first to get the global HR payroll up and running for a client. And we're excited to show you about it today.
Great. Thanks, Nikki. And as always, we have this lovely disclaimer. This is related to implementing or processing in Cloud Suite. It's informational only. We make no repercussions or warranties of any kind. Please just reach out to us if you have any assistance. So there's our lovely disclaimer. Really quick, our agenda, we're going to do an overview. We're going to do the HR payroll processing, some latest updates that Nikki put together for us coming soon because they're always releasing new and better information, and then we'll have a Q&A. So our overview. So it's really cool. Now in the HR payroll arena, they have a payroll dashboard. It's your one-stop shop for payroll processing. It shows you if there's any payrolls, processes, and cycles, both regular and off cycles. There's quick links to everything related to payroll and the employees. There's deduction alerts, tax alerts, pay period alerts. BSI tax locator messages are now in right there. I don't have to log into BSI to see them. Can I get a heck yeah? Whoop, whoop. If there is any deduction error, something didn't come out, any time record errors, it tells you that you are linked to BSI properly, and you can also then look at your delivered content. Does it need to be updated? So here's an example and how you get there. We put how do you get there up here in the upper corner, but it's a payroll administrator and this is the home. And see how cool this is? It's all right here. I have biweekly exempt, biweekly non-exempt, any quick links over here. And it's the funniest part is I'm trying to scroll down on this. It's just hilarious. It's deduction alerts, tax alerts, pay period alerts. Tax locator errors or issues right here, any deduction errors, time record errors, you'd see them right here. See, it shows you right here that BSI is up and running, it's all connected and working as expected, and whether or not we had any delivered content that needs to be updated. Time records. Of course, all of us payroll people know you can't process payroll without time records, right? And of course, we're the most important people because we pay everybody and we keep everything running. Don't tell my GL friends that because they don't believe me. But anyhow, payroll administrations can verify time records before they are included in payroll processing. To be included in payroll processing, a time record must be selected into a batch or moved to an existing batch. When time records are selected and moved into current status for the current payroll cycle, certain criteria must be met. For example, the time records must be in an approved status. All time records moved to current status for an employee must have the same pay schedule to be processed. Moving forward, we process by pay schedules, payment schedules, just going to throw that out there, terminology. If any of you have utilized the, I call it S3 or the COBOL product, it's similar to a process level and or processing group. So we go to time administrator, time entry, time records, and here are my time records in draft status. So again, time administrator, time entry, time records, here they are in draft status. From there, we then want to send them to approved, right? Because we want to get them over into the payroll module. Okay, this right now is in the timekeeping area. We want to get them over to payroll for payroll process. In order to do that, we go to select the time records, set to approve.
And Kellie, can you back up a second?
Of course I can.
There is a brand new report that was released just in the last couple of months, time record totals. That lines up with this. So you can actually do time record totals in the system so you can match them with your time record system. We probably want to add a slide in that for next time, Cal, but this it's actually
making that note right now.
So it's pretty, it just came, I think the full functionality just came out in just a week or two ago. And you can actually match the totals and do the time record totals right in here to match your timekeeping. So it's been a great improvement. Yeah.
Major improvement because all us payroll people like to balance, right? Whether you're using Kronos, UKG, WFM, API, Partridge in a Pear Tree, you know, whatever that, you get your total there from there. You want to make sure it's totaled here, and then that total goes over into your batch, right? We just like to balance to make sure everything works. Great. Thank you, Niki. And I did make a note, Nick, to add that slide.
Okay.
So again, our overview under time record administrator, we can edit those time records as well, and then also send to approve to move to payroll administrator. I can then see them under payroll administrator. I can approve them, move them to batch. I can still edit them. This is under payroll administrator is where I can create my recurring time records and then send those to approve. And then also selecting time records takes types of time records below and creates them the batch status. I can do benefits, time off requests, absence payouts, allowances payouts. All this cool stuff is now under selecting time records. And then the releasing the time records from batch to current is under time record batches. It is so simple. It is like a click. So cool.
Yeah,
it is. So cool.
It's a one-step process. It's really nice.
So in order to look at my time record batches under payroll administrator, time record processing, time records, time record batches. Okay, here is where I would create a batch. And then also here, I could also release the batch if there was time records in there, but that's where that's done there. So now I have my time records approved in the payroll area. So under payroll administrator, time record processing, time records under the approved batch right here, I'm going to add them to the batch. And so I click that little button there and up pops this little form. And then I want to add it to batch number 500, which is the batch I just created, and click submit. And ta-da! Now under the batch tab under time records, all of these are now in batch status. Again, I can still go in here and edit, add, change, really cool things like that. Thanks, Dan. Yes, the batch totals was just deployed in the July CU. Dan just put that up in the chat. Appreciated.
Thank you.
So under payroll administrator, time record processing, time records, select time records. This is where I could create my benefit time records, my time off. If I had requested time off via employee space, I could create all those time records. I click submit. And I can put them into another batch number 550, and put on there like it's my GTL or allowances, car allowance, phone allowance, things like that. So this one, I want to actually take my time records and move them from, excuse me, either to current or future state, whichever you want to do. I don't know if you guys all remember, but there's like 3 different statuses of time records in payroll. There's the batch status. Now there's the approved status as well. But there's batch status, current status, and future status. And payroll will only process things in the current status. If it's any other status, they'll sit out there and wait till they get pushed and put in current status.
Yeah, and Kel, what we've noticed is that if you throw everything in current, right? Make sure you check future, because if there's an error on that time record when it's getting put into current, it'll go to future, and so you have to go to future and then check it out, and it'll show that there was an error there. What happened to me recently was the GL was wrong or was missing. It was missing GL, and it made it all the way through the process, but it wouldn't go to current because that GL is missing. So that future status is also like an error status check too. So make sure you keep an eye on that.
Great tip, Niki. Thank you. Yeah. So definitely make sure you go back to, after you move everything, go check out your future records to ensure nothing got moved there because there was an error on it. Great tip. Thank you so much, Nick. And see, now they're all in the current cycle. But again, to Niki's point, go check your future and make sure that there aren't time records in error over there. Another tip that I want to make sure everybody knows about is async. Honestly, when I'm processing payroll or I'm teaching folks how to process payroll in the HR talent, I always make sure they have a multiple tabs open, because you always want to look at your async overview to make sure everything's being processed and nothing's failed. I do the same thing if I'm processing benefits and or absence management. I want to make sure that process is running successfully. So I always have that open. Async is your friend, folks. It's like watching your job scheduler. Async queues are recommended as best practice to split up the actions for concurrent processing. They're used to ensure that certain actions in a queue are completed before others to maintain data integrity. Very important. Go to the process viewer tab to run the current process, and fail shows in the process error tab. So anything else on that, Niki?
No, it's just so similar to the job scheduler. You're right, because you can sit there and inquire too, even though they tell you not to, right?
Oh, yeah. I hope there's no technical folks on here. So yeah, I do that all the time. Inquire,
Yeah.
go quicker. And this is just an overview of what the async page looks like. I usually have this up here so I can watch what's queued, what's active, and see if there's anything failed. If something does fail, I think we should have a whole session on looking at failed async that you should attend, because it could be anything. Could be that someone kicked off the process too many times in a row. Yeah, it's always fun. So cycle process, here's our payroll cycle, okay? So the main areas for payroll processing, we assign our tax deductions, calculate overtime if applicable, then we lock payroll, then we calculate payroll, and then we can review our employees and view any errors, and then print the payments. That's the
All from
overview.
one page,
All
all
from
on
one
that
page.
dashboard.
You don't have
Yeah,
to move anywhere, guys. It is so
wonderful.
cool. Dun, dun, dun. So here it is, payroll cycle, right? Payroll administrator, cycle processing, payroll cycle. This is it. This is it. So again, the calculate overtime will only show up if there are people in your schedule that have exempt from overtime as no. If they're all salaried in that payroll schedule, you will not even see calculate overtime. Just a little tip and trick. But here's what I do. I highlight what I want to process, hit that little button, and then I'd go to async. Oh, see, it's done. And then here's what happens. Ta-da! Oh, should say complete. I have to put a new print screen. It should say complete. Sorry about that. Then what I want to do is highlight the payroll. I'm actually going to do the earnings to deductions calculation, and I want to lock it. And you're like, well, Kellie, why do I want to lock it? And I'm going to say, because this is the coolest thing ever invented. Is that what happens is when we lock a payroll, your employees could still be going in and making changes through employee space. HR can still be making changes, doing transaction in global human resources. What this does says, as of this point, nothing's going to affect my payroll. No, even though there's still changes going on, it's not going to flow to payroll. I'm locking that information out, so I know I am at a point in time. And this is the coolest thing ever, because before in prior versions, we would ask people not to do transactional data processing within GHR or anywhere, because we were afraid it would affect our payroll. Go ahead, Niki.
Yeah, and you don't have to send out that mass warning or try and figure out how to turn off their access. But one of the coolest things is if you have a lot of users out there, it even locks the time record, right, Kel? So those can't even be modified. If someone happens to be in there trying to change a time record, it locks them out of the time record as well. So not just employee transactions, but the payroll is locked too. So it's neat.
It's really neat, because I don't know about you guys, but my fear is someone always going in there and touching something after I process and sending me to error, and I was balanced, now I'm not balanced, but pretty cool. And then for any other reason, if you need to unlock it to fix a time record or something, you could unlock it via per employee or per time record, or unlock the whole schedule. But I can tell it to use prior values. So when I go back to relock it, I want to use it at the point in time it was before, and I hit that button and then click submit. They give you so many options. It's so cool. It's just amazing.
In the same way, you can unlock one person's time record, edit it, and then lock that one person again.
Back. Yep. Yeah. So cool. So the importance of payment schedules. Okay, this is how payment schedules are what's used to define pay periods. And you no longer, I don't know, back in the day in the old product, we used to have an exempt pay plan and a non-exempt pay plan. Guys, we don't need that anymore. You're going to look at how you're going to process the payroll. For example, at one of my clients, they have 3 different locations and they have 3 different payroll administrators at 3 different locations. So we made 3 payment schedules, one in Alabama, one in Georgia, and one in Texas, because that's how they're processing. And we have a mixed batch of people in there, and that's okay. So that's really when you start looking at defining your payment schedules, when you move over to HR payroll, look at how you want to process. I mean, Niki, wouldn't you say that's a good way of describing that?
Yeah. Yep. Just all things together.
Yep.
In this.
And think about it, because it is different. It's sort of, when I moved from one product to another, it took a little bit for me to get my head around it. Now I'm like, oh my God, this is brilliant. Also, when initially defining payment schedules, pay periods and work periods are created for 1 year. Additional pay periods can be created by running the create period dates action in the more actions menu. They're created in HR payroll and attached to work assignments. Payment schedules are used to determine pay period dates for time records. And pay period dates must be continuous and non-overlapping. So payment schedules, very, very important.
Yeah, it's like a pay plan in S3 on steroids.
Oh yeah, that's a good one, Niki. I like that one. So again, a payroll administrator, cycle processing, payroll cycle. Okay, guys, again, this is how hard it is. I did that. I locked my payroll. I made sure my payroll lock was done. This says, oh, look, it's done. I'm going to calculate payments. I push that little button or that little name right there, come over here and put in my paycheck date, my deduction cycle. If I do want to override my bank code for that payment schedule, I was just key it in there and hit submit. At that point, I open up Async, I watch it process. I don't keep hitting refresh. I just wait patiently. And presto changeo, it's done. And then what happens is like, okay, cool, it's done, it's complete. I checked everything. I'm going to print payments. So right next to payroll cycle is the print payments tab. And again, guys, this is so easy. Now, you only see payroll checks here instead of payroll checks and receipts. This is really my receipts because I didn't have anybody that had actual system check. So you only see one, but it very similar. This is my last check number. So my starting check number is whatever. My starting receipt number is 10,000. Apparently I just had checks, no receipts. Sorry about that. My actual ACH date, and I click submit. And again, go over to Async, watch it process, presto changeo. It creates files. So here's my file output, and I want to via Ion, I want to send my files. So here's one for a payment and one for ACH. Payment output files, hit there, click there, poof, and hit the button. Go ahead,
Is
Nick.
this the exact same format as S3?
You mean the actual format output?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
It is. So your current vendors, there's no, I mean, obviously there's a change in moving files, but if you're coming from the Lawson S3 product, it's pretty seamless here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same. So it would just, of course, always send a test file because that's what we do to make sure everything works.
Sure.
But it's just sent via Ion now. And as you can see, here's my little calculation complete.
Which I thought we had more slides that said complete in there.
I did too. I must have goofed something up. Okay. I'll fade to here. And then, okay, guys, we have a payroll register. Woohoo. So now that I print payments and everything, I went over here to my payroll administrator, cycle processing, payroll register. So right here, see my payroll register, we have one. And I put in the US. I always put in US and which one I wanted my payroll schedule for. I mean, my payment schedule, what payroll register I want. And as you can see, it's all right here. Amazing, right? And
it can be print to PDF, so it can be easily extracted and saved off. If you need
and
that.
here's the payments. And then here's the deductions or your payment totals, wage totals, all really cool things. So very exciting stuff here, folks.
And I know there's questions about reporting. I mean, reporting has changed in the way GHR reports, but it's improving every day on how many you get a new report all the time, and any list that you see here in in the screenshots, you can actually make that a report. You can export anything to Excel or CSV, and you can slice and dice over there.
Niki's working right now on a migration from S3 up to the cloud, and she showed them how they could do the reporting from lists. And what they say, Niki?
They said this is better than Lawson. They love the new functionality because it's manageable in a way that you can make it your own. You can say you can personalize the list and include the fields that you want, and then export it right on the spot. 2 clicks, and they have their report.
And they were AS400 client. They've been on it for, well, they're my client for 15, 20 years. So it's
yeah,
it's good feedback. I like hearing it.
Yeah.
And then as you can see, my little complete here, somehow I got these out of sync. Niki, I got to fix this. Calculates complete, my payment page complete. And you can see it's all right here, this payroll cycle. It's phenomenal. And then what we're going to do is we're going to close our payroll. And so from there, I am just going to click the little close payroll button right here. This pops up. I put in the GL date. You can just finalize it and then close. You can do it 2 steps. I'm cheated and did it in 1. I want to recreate the payroll registers to make sure that they're still good, and click submit. And now my payroll's closed. As you can see, it clears out all of my verbiage here. So that's how I know it's closed. And then here it says it's unposted. What does that mean? It means I need to post it to the global ledger. So in doing that, I just click that little button there, and presto changeo. This little pop-up happens, says we'll post all finalized payroll distributions to finance to continue. And you say yes, because I don't want my finance team mad at me. And ta-da! Your payroll cycle is complete.
Yay.
That's simple, folks. Yay! Now you're like, oh no, I forgot to run my payroll register. Oh, don't worry, folks. There's more. Ta-da! Yes, Infor has given us our closed payroll cycle report as well. I know it looks a little small, but it's there, guys. It's great. And like Niki said, I can print to a PDF. So we do have a payroll register, even though we've already closed payroll. Love it. I love it. I mean, easy to get the wage history out of there. Like Niki was saying, pull it for a list view and then export it either into Excel or to PDF, whatever you need. And then Infor has provided us with this really cool process intelligence flow that gives you how the payroll flows. I absolutely love it. So I threw it in here just so everybody could have it at their beck and call. And now I get to turn it over to Niki to discuss our latest updates.
Okay. All right.
Ta-da!
Thanks, Cal.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is from a service industries call from, I think, May. Tips and setup processing is coming or is new this year. Some of this is new this year, and they're improving every month with every CU. It expands the HR payroll reach into additional markets. I think the specific market was casinos, because we have a lot of clients coming from the casino market on now. So go ahead, Cal.
Yep.
Okay. Payroll delivered content administration, and what payroll delivered content is ongoing updates, anything new. The way that the global HR payroll is that it updates, it pushes updates immediately into the multi-tenant client, and that way, if there's a new tax type for BSI, or if there is a new functionality that needs to be added, it can be pushed immediately. And that's what delivered content does for you. The cool thing is now that it's very visible. It's right on the main page, and you can see that you have something that needs to be loaded right away. So it's great visibility now. Payment modeling. So this is the payment modeling. It is actually a brand new way to do process modeling. I know that in S3 that form can be confusing. They built it brand new from the bottom up, a new methodology, and it is an easy way for payment modeling for this side for the payroll administrator. And I believe I have to add a new slide because the employee side, I think, and Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, got added this July as well. So the employee space payment modeling got released as well. Very exciting. A lot of people asking for that. Okay, this is actually something new. This functionality wasn't in S3, so it always had to be created. But this is the multiple worksite report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. This is new this year, so this is really exciting that this is already delivered.
Whoop, whoop.
And Kelly showed you the payroll register. That's fairly new, and keeps getting improvements every month. So that's again, here we go, the time record totals, and Dan put the JT in there if you want more information about that. And you can do it, you can see in a little screenshot, you can do it by batch, you can do it for current cycle, and you can do it for future. And the different ways you can sort them that are delivered in the charts option here is really cool because you can do it by org unit and you can do it by employee if you just want to look at one employee. So this is a very cool report that's been recently delivered. Really like it. Thanks, Dan. Employee role payment modeling is in the chat for you if you want to read up about that.
Oh, it came out in July.
Yeah.
Nice. We'll have to add those two in here, Niki.
Yep. Yep. Okay, so this is coming soon. This is from the same presentation that Infor gave earlier this year, but they've got a lot of plans, a lot of clients coming that they're trying to make sure that have all the functionality they need. Contract pay administration to help the education industry, U.S. payroll enhancements ongoing. Obviously, we've got that. And connectors to ADP services, which seem to be a lot of what clients are using as either printing services or W2 services. And Canadian payroll is coming the end of next year. So that's exciting. That's a lot of happy clients out there for that. So also they're talking about Q3 2022, which we are now in. Wow, almost August. I'm not ready for that. Infor document management. This has been very focused on the finance side of the house. They use it extensively over there. And what it is a way to scan and send documents internally so you can see the original invoice, let's say. But there's going to be a delivery for GHR, which is something that they've been asking for clients have been wanting for a long time. The hurdle that they're working on is the private space. So they're working on delivering a way for an employee to only look at employee data. And so hopefully that's coming very soon. Ongoing work on remote and hybrid workers, that's the new way of the world, right? And then daily pay for API, the target is in 2023 for advanced payments, or employee advanced payments, yes. And then public sector payroll, pension payments, 1099-R will be in 2023. Good stuff coming. All right, so I know a few of you asked beforehand, what are the differences? We've kind of talked a little bit about the differences from S3 to the new product, only because Kelly and I were started off as payroll users. We know a lot about that. But if you're interested in getting more in depth, there is a course on Infor Campus. It's payroll differences from loss and HRM. So it's a really high level, but it does talk about the basic navigation and the differences. And there is even a talk about, it talks about the form numbers compared to the reports in there as well. So that's,
there's a whole document on that Infor produced for anybody that's legacy S3. That's okay. It used to be this over here, or this is how I get to it over there now in HR payroll.
Yep. And this, some of you were asking about this, and this is from May, but you wanted to know how many people were using it right now. So I went and grabbed this slide. This is live customers are 12, but again, this was as of April of this year. There may be a few more. I think what happened is COVID had a big impact on implementations, right? Especially the payroll implementations, which take a lot of focus and concentration. Some clients put them on hold during COVID while there was a lot of remote work and uncertainty. And then there was the Chrono scare as well, which I think disrupted a lot of payroll departments. So this is increasing day by day. We have a lot. I know we have a handful at Bales alone going live in the next 6 months. But this is just it gives you an idea of where they are now. I think that's it, Kel.
That's it. Any questions? Anything else we can answer for you? Don't be shy. Oh, I have a hand. Hold on. I gotta find it.
That's me,
It's
Kellie.
Dan.
This is Dan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to just talk a little bit about IDM and clarify, what's going on with that right now, because it has been an area where there's been a little bit of confusion. I think what has happened a lot of times is because FSM or financials has already adopted it, there are some assumptions made that it's adopted across all the cloud suites and all products support it yet. And we know that's not the case, but sometimes that message doesn't get articulated very clearly across, all parties for all products. And so specifically what's going on with IDM right now is that for HR talent and GHR, there is a foundational release that is intended to provide a way to store documents in what is known as the private space. And that is sort of the first step of fully integrating IDM to work with HR talent. And that really is just about document storage, just about providing the appropriate security so that employees can't go in there and see other employee stuff, right? Which is something that we can't have. And it's been the primary reason why we've not been able to adopt it sooner, because the security is by document type. So that is going to be addressed with, and they've identified, I think it was 5 beta customers that are going to be starting testing, if not already, very, very soon. And so we'll know whether or not that is through the beta process to a point where it's very stable for us to start building on top of that. So the next phase of development, and in your slide, it says, we were tentatively scheduling to start work on adopting the forms template capabilities that would support W-2 forms, paychecks, your 1095 forms for benefits. Those types of compliance forms will be the first things that we look at supporting. But I don't believe that we'll be able to, it definitely won't be available for the end of this calendar year. So if you're expecting them to be available for 22 filing, don't expect that, because that's not going to happen. What we hope to, assuming everything goes well, is to be able to provide that as an option for customers to support next year. So in 2023, add the functionality to support these W-2 forms, checks, and things like that. We'll provide better information in terms of timeline when we're able to do that. But for right now, it is a bit general. It's a very high level. And that is, again, based on just, we're assuming that everything's going to go just fine with the rollout of the private space, but just in case it's not, we wanted to have a little bit of buffer there. So if anyone has any more questions, I can take them, but that is, I just wanted to clarify and make sure that people are aware of what's going on and what's not going on with the current IDM integration and what's coming.
Thank you so much, Dan. And thank you
You're
for
welcome.
taking time to sit on the call. I know how busy you are.
Well, I love hearing you present, Kellie. So you're so enthusiastic, and I appreciate that.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate that. I love it. I love this stuff. People think I'm crazy, which I am, but you know what I mean.
You are, yeah.
Any other questions and we have Dan's ear now too. So anything else anybody might want to ask?
We've got a hand up. Let's see, Kelly Rogers, you have a question?
Yes, I have a question regarding the payroll delivered content and the difference between that and customer updates. Is there I figure everybody might want to know if there's a purpose for that being a load option as opposed to the customer updates that go in automatically monthly with CU updates? Is it, I suspect it has to do with the timing of payroll year-end delivered content?
It could be, as well as there's also like unemployment reports that sometimes get updated throughout certain documents and things like that. They get updated, and it's not really. My recommendation is I have my clients check it every Monday, because it doesn't always just come out with a CU. It could come out at any time. But as they meaning Infor, and please, Dan, if I'm speaking incorrectly, please yell at me. As they receive updates or get stuff updated, they like to push it out to the payroll folks to get that done for them. And then you just run through the process on every Monday. Am I stating that right, Niki?
Yeah. What I would say a good way to think about it is that the delivered content is not stuff that would apply necessarily to everybody. It is codes or file formats or things that are used within features. Where I would think a feature is a good way to think of what's coming in a customer update or a monthly update would be a feature. And then delivered content are codes that are used to support processes and features. As a sort of general rule of thumb, that's how I would describe it.
Okay, thank you. The weekly is very helpful for a recommendation, because mine was more towards a monthly, so that's very helpful.
I like to check it every Monday, or I request that my clients check it every Monday, because they run a weekly payroll as well. So
Right.
I want to make sure that they're compliant and everything's going to work fine for them for when they run payroll on Wednesday.
Yeah, and I added to the payroll checklist. I just put it as the first thing as on the payroll checklist for my teams.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're here. We got time. Anybody else? I know that there was one question that was asked prior to this, and it's a question about premium pay on whether it should be in WFM or in Infor, and I guess it would just depend on the product. We could absolutely incorporate it in Infor, but premium pay sometimes, yeah.
A philosophical kind of conversation. I prefer the calculation happen in payroll. Some people prefer it happen over in their timekeeping system. It's a philosophical question.
Yeah.
I want to see it in my payroll, right? I want to see it on my register. I want to see the FLSA calculation, all that other stuff. But a lot of times it is just being handled in the timekeeping system. All righty. Couple more little things I'm going to just wrap up here with. I hope y'all don't mind. And I don't know how that jumped like that. I swear to gosh, I didn't touch anything. Niki and I were the last presentation for our July series of Informative Fridays. Our next Informative Friday series will start in October. So just giving everybody a heads up on that. And you also, I believe, and Molly, you can yell at me later, but if you have any ideas, shoot them out to Molly and to us, give us some ideas. We sort of just guess what you want to see, but if you have some stuff you'd like to talk about or stuff you think would be great for presenting on, shoot it to us. I love ideas. It gives me something to, do. Haha. Also, really cool thing that we're offering here at Bales and Associates is coffee with consultants. You have questions, you want to see a demo, do you want to just talk food or dogs or whatever? We are offering a complimentary half-hour sessions with one of our experienced consultants. Please visit bales.com, balesllc.com, or email Molly or send us an email through the website by selecting Reach Us. We're here to give you 30 minutes of our support, or you have any questions, a specific thing that we can help you with. We'd love to help you. So please feel free to reach out at any time. And just a little bit of information. This is Molly Velasco, sets all this up. Thank you, Molly. Clap and clap, clap. Here's her information, but thank you all. I know it's Friday. I know it's summer and you all would rather be playing in a lake or in a pool or on a boat or something, but we greatly appreciate you taking your time today to sit in on our presentation.
Yes, and thanks, Dan, for helping us out. We appreciate that too.
Thank you, Kellie and Niki. Great job.
Did we do okay? Did we pass?
Yes, you passed.
Perfect. And then you will be sending out the slide deck, right, Molly?
Yes, I put that in the chat. I'll send out
Perfect.
a copy of the slide deck and a link to the recording for all registrants. So,
And since we added that last slide, Molly, I'll resend this to you, okay?
okay,
We
great.
added a
Sounds good.
slide like 5 minutes before the presentation, so.
Okay.
All right, thanks everybody. Have a great rest of your day and have a phenomenal weekend. If you need anything, reach out. We're here to support you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Have a great day.